Morning, guys. Times are changing. It seems all our hard work is paying off. Men and women alike are waking up to the lies they've been fed for years. And it all begins and ends with these womenists. I got an article today that's just a little sample of the recent change. Let's check it out. Rising share of Americans see women raising children on their own, and cohabitation is bad for society. Americans are more likely than they were 3 years ago to say single women raising children on their own and couples living together without being married are bad for society. Now, I don't want to be a hypocrite. I'm a single father. I was raised by a single mother. So I can tell you from experience, having an absent parent sucks for kids. And finally, it seems society is waking up to this reality. It only took about 50 years. Nearly half of Americans now say single women raising children on their own is bad for society. Some 47% of U.S. adults say single women raising children on their own is generally a bad thing, an increase of 7 percentage points from the 40% who said the same in 2018. A smaller share, 43%, said it didn't make a difference, and just 10% of adults say it's good for society. Now, in just 3 years, it went from 40% to 47%. At this rate, the numbers will be 70% by 2030. Now, this is a huge shift in society, and for the good, I might say. But I got to wonder about this 10% that said it's good for society. Idiots. It goes on, the share of births to unmarried women has remained relatively stable over the past decade. It says the share was 41%, which is about double the percentage from 40 years ago. And then it goes on to say views of single motherhood different somewhat by race. Whites and Asians, 49%, 46% for Black adults, and Hispanics are 39%. Now, the last couple of sentences say white adults have had the largest increase in the share saying this is bad for society, up 8 points. Among Blacks and Hispanic adults, the share has remained pretty much the same. Now, 41% of births are to unmarried women. And this is not too surprising. What's surprising is the fact that only half of Americans think this is a problem. Now, it says gender is strongly related to these perspectives. Of course, men believe it more than women. But the last sentence of the first paragraph says, however, the share of both men and women saying this is bad for society has increased since 2018, up 9 points for men and 7 points for women. And then the last paragraph says, there are also significant differences in the view across age groups. People above 50 or higher, and people below 30 are going to be the lowest. But it says the number of men that think single motherhood is bad for society has raised 9 points in 3 years. That if that number works out, that's 86% by the year 2030. The future's bright. Now, the first paragraph talks about how it's divided among party lines. Republicans believe in this more than Democrats. Now, the second paragraph says, when it comes to views on cohabitation, Americans are more likely than they were in 2018 to say that couples living together without being married is bad for society, even as cohabitation is on the rise. Roughly a quarter of U.S. adults say that the couples living together without being married is generally bad for society, up 5 points from 3 years ago. A quarter of Americans think cohabitation is bad for society. Well, I'm pretty neutral on this. But I do believe in the union of two people by marriage, if only for taxes and legal issues. But guys, you got to get a prenup. Now, it says that views on cohabitation differ by race. 33% of Blacks, 25% of whites, Asians at 24, and Hispanics at 17. Now, one of the last two sentences says, or the first paragraph say, white adults had a smaller increase of 5 points, but it says black adults had an increase of 8 points. And then down at the bottom it says there are modest differences in the views by gender. Now, these points, these 8 points, 5 points, 7 points, these huge societal shifts, we're talking about 20 to 25% increase just in 3 years. This is major. Now, these are just a couple of charts that back up their numbers. This is cohabitation, and this is single motherhood. Now, guys, it's good to see these gains in morality. People see the decay of home and how it hurts the child. They understand that dependency that comes from government assistance and relationships of convenience is bad. I hope this is a sign of things to come. The destruction of the home was the worst crime feminists committed against society. When a young mother only gets assistance if the father is absent, and then you put the father in jail, it's checkmate. I mean, game over. But anyway, Kings, that's all I got. It's just my opinion. I hope you enjoyed it. Talk to you soon. Peace.